and your personal information. Once this is done, you will see the following.
I'm not convinced.
Click on Lodge
I
Complaint.
think let's go to Afrikaans. Dear Mona. Afrikaans is the beach. Okay, there's no urinating in Afrikaans. There's no urinating in Afrikaans.
Once you've successfully completed the required data, which includes your personal information,
See, so I'd like to welcome you all officially to the CGSO mobile launch this morning. We're really
you will then be issued with a reference number to use in tracking the progress of your complaint.
2023. It's been an incredible 10 years, and today officially
The app also allows you to keep track of your complaint while it is being handled.
here to witness that incredible milestone. So please
See the status of your reported complaints,
and of course,
tap on the menu button at the top corner of the home screen,
for the incredible and amazing 10 years. That is a decade of success.
list of reported complaints will now be displayed. Tap on the specific complaint for which you want a status update. If you still need assistance, you can talk to us.
Before we go ahead with the program, I want to welcome the
You can interact with the chat box to make inquiries, or
but I want to
to speak to
welcome
an
on
agent.
stage the CEO
podcast button
of
from the home screen.
CGSO to come up and officially welcome everyone here this morning.
There are two
Come on,
ways to
please give a
interact with the
round of
chat box.
applause.
Tap on one of the buttons provided, or type your question in the text box at the bottom of the screen. We hope this great new platform helps all our consumers and suppliers in their continued pursuit of fair play. The Consumer Goods and Services Ombud, resolving consumer goods and services disputes effectively and independently.
We also introduced WhatsApp. At some point we had SMS code where you could SMS, then we phone you back. So that I think kind of died down during when WhatsApp came alive and all that. Now we are here talking about the mobile app. What a journey. I think it's such a convenient platform, because I know that today, the world of today, we need to move with time. We need to, when you are aggrieved or you are unhappy at the shops while you are shopping, you want to already lodge a complaint here and there so that, you know, you can say, you know what, we can call the Ombud. I've got the app. You know, you show them the app and then they can do the things. I mean, that is the journey that we are now excited about today. So let me not say much about that, because there's still a lot of lined up speakers that will talk more about the app itself. We're going to unveil it and they will take us through what the app can and cannot do. And when I talk about this, I remember when we were procuring the very first complaints handling system. We went to see some guys, they told us this thing can do everything except tea. And I'm like, okay. So that is the journey that we've been. But we realized that, in fact, it couldn't do most of the things that they were saying. And we changed from one CRM to another, and now we have the app. But without going deeper into that, we're still going to touch on that later. Let me acknowledge the following stakeholders. As I move my eyes around, I see our major stakeholders that are here, without whom this office could not be celebrating this or could not be doing what we are doing today. I see the acting commissioner of the National Consumer Commission, Ms. Tezi Mabuza, welcome. We've got stakeholders from the DTIC, whom we report to. The board in absentia, I haven't seen any of our board members as yet. I'm sure some of them are still coming. We thank them and welcome them in absentia for now. All the regulators, I see some of the regulators around here, our developers. Thank you for making it happen. I mean, this day would not happen without you guys. Our CGSO participants, as I look around, I see some of them represented here. Thank you for coming. Some of our other ombuds, I was joking with the second best ombud in the country. And you know who the first is. I mean, it speaks for itself. The members of the media, the business representatives, and other stakeholders. I see that the Consumer Tribunal is also here. some of the people, some of them I won't be able to mention all of you by name, but thank you very much for coming. The CGSO staff, you guys are amazing. I think the things that are happening out there. Let me just say welcome to all of you, and then we'll touch base, and then we'll follow the process as it moves along. Thank you very much, Madam MC. You can take the show before I take your show. Then come back and redeem.
Come on, give it up for our CEO. Thank you. That was brilliant. Also, speaking about technology, the official hashtag this morning is hashtag CGSO. Make sure you go across your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I know the Twitter streets aren't that friendly, but please do go on Twitter and make sure that you hashtag CGSO. We are launching the new app. And of course, the programmers are here, which is very exciting. So if anything goes wrong with the app today, I know I just look back and I'm like, why is this not working? Luckily for me, I tested it yesterday and it absolutely works. So if you are here this morning and you have not downloaded the application, please do go on your Google or Apple Play Store right now and type it and you will find it. You can download it. We're going to watch an animation video. Before that, I do have some questions. So you have to be a very attentive audience because we've got 10 prizes to be won. So across the program, I'm going to be asking questions of what you have been seeing and what you have been hearing this morning. Right? So can anyone here tell me, are the prizes ready? Oma? Yes, they're here? Okay, so can anyone tell me how the communication streams started with CGSO? Anyone? She mentioned it. Okay, let me not look in front. I'm going to intentionally start at the back. Yes, sir. Yes. Telephones. Did you also know that they're on WhatsApp as well? Yes? No, you didn't know? You know, please can we give him a round of applause? That was an easy one. Oh, man. Right, that's our first winner for today. So now we're going to watch the animation video. After that, I'm going to ask 2 questions. So please do stay attentive. Is our video ready? Our technical desk. Is it ready? All right, please take it over.
Or CGSO mobile application. This mobile app allows you to do the following: lodge a complaint and track the progress of your complaints, or chat to our friendly staff. The Consumer Goods and Services Ombud, or CGSO, allows you to have your complaints against suppliers of goods and services handled free of charge. The CGSO has a great mobile app that makes the process of lodging a complaint quick and hassle-free. Once you have downloaded the CGSO mobile application, either from the Google or Apple Play Store, and you have registered on the app, a pop-up will appear telling you to update your profile. Select Profile from the menu. You can now edit your profile and your personal information. Once this is done, you will see the following. Click on Lodge Complaint. To lodge a complaint, you will be required to complete the decision questionnaire, after which you should be able to complete the details of your complaint. Once you have successfully completed the required data, which includes your personal information, supplier details, and complaint details, you can tap on the Submit button. You will then be issued with a reference number to use in tracking the progress of your complaint. The app also allows you to keep track of your complaint while it is being handled. To see the status of your reported complaints, tap on the menu button at the top corner of the home screen and look for the Complaints History option. A list of reported complaints will now be displayed. Tap on the specific complaint for which you want a status update. If you still need assistance, you can talk to us. You can interact with the chatbot to make inquiries or to ask to speak to an agent. Tap the Talk to Us button from the home screen. There are two ways to interact with the chatbot. Tap on one of the options provided, or type your question in the text box at the bottom of the screen. We hope this great new platform helps all our consumers and suppliers in their continued pursuit of fair play. The Consumer Goods and Services Ombud, resolving consumer goods and services disputes effectively and independently. Contact us at the details on the screen.
Talk about leveraging technology. That was incredible. And the team that put that together, well done. You can clap hands for yourself. That was incredible. I mean, talk about a step-by-step process of how the application works. Very clear, very precise, very easy, right? Question. First question, right? What does the mobile app allow you to do? There's three things that were mentioned, and you have to give me all three without looking at your notes. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We do have a mic on standby. Yes.
Thank you very much. It allows you to lodge a complaint, and then you can track the progress of your complaint. And then it also allows you to chat to the friendly staff.
Wow!
Thank you.
I love that. Okay. I was a bit worried because I thought you were going to refer back to your notes, but you knew that off by head. And that's how easy the application is. It simply allows you to lodge your complaint, to track the status of your complaint, and obviously chat to the friendly staff on the chat box, which you have the option of chatting to them or allowing them to lead you to a person, a physical person to speak to you. Can we just give them another round of applause? Thank you so much. Question Yabubedi Shiona. How much do you pay in order for you to lodge your complaint? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. All right. Yes, ma'am. Right there at the back. Yeah.
It's free.
It's absolutely free. So you get the service. You get the service. Everybody gets the service. It's absolutely free for you to lodge your complaint. This is why you cannot walk out of this room without downloading the mobile application app and telling everybody around you to download it. As you know, most of the consumers, 90% of them, as the CEO mentioned, have been complaining online, which means the online space is growing, and they have made sure that they keep up with an online audience and make sure they bring them something right in the palm of their hands. Question number 3. There's something that pops up in the process of downloading the application. Something, I know this one is a bit hard. It has to get difficult because you're finding this process so easy. But something does pop up on your screen. What is that? Yes, sir. Nope. The chat box doesn't pop up. Yes, ma'am? Update your profile! Man, I thought I got you there. This audience is way ahead of the process. See, it shows how easy it is. Please, can we give her her gift? Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. We're now going to move on to the next part of our program, and that is to go through the features of the mobile application. Please, can you welcome the CEO of Puleng, Tepo Hlaku, to come up and take us through the features. You have to get more excited than that because there's no application without features. And these features have already shown to be incredible features.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. I must say that this has been a great journey with the CGSO. It was a collaborative effort that included the Innovation Hub as well as the MLab Southern Africa. And as developers, we had to pay attention to what the CGSO requires. Took longer than expected, but we are here today, launching the mobile application, and I am glad that you are so excited to see this. I am going to ask my colleague, TV, to present the features of the application, not only because I have flu and I have to put on my mask, but also because in our industry, in the tech industry, women are not always given a fair chance. So we believe in young people. All the developers of this mobile application are all young, except myself. I just give comments and attend meetings, and majority of them are women. So let me give her the opportunity to present. Thank you.
Good morning, Dumacharon. Thank you to Tepo for exposing everybody's ages at the office. All right, I'll be taking you through some of the features of the app. And when we were building this solution, our brief was an engagement platform for lodgement of complaints and inquiries for consumers. I'm not sure, can we go to the next slide? Okay. So I'm just going to talk about the key features of the app, but we do have a lot more features. I'm sure when you have downloaded the app, you were able to see some of the features. Also, the video also showed the features. But I'm just going to focus on the top 5, which is the lodging of complaints. This is where you'll find the complete complaint form, which you'll fill out, and then you get a reference number at the end. Also, the complaints history with real-time updates. This is where you'll be able to see the history of your complaint, the reference number, all the required information that you submitted. It will also have the informational chatbot. This is where you'll find information with regards to CGSO. If you have any questions, you'll find them there. News and articles. This is when CGSO would like to share information with you. We have an article on the app. I'm sure everybody was able to see it. So those what articles look like. Notifications. These are just messages that the CGSO feels that they need to send out to consumers. Okay, here we go. Thank you. So when you lodge a complaint, obviously you download the app. I believe everybody has downloaded the app today. Once you download the app, you'll be required to register. Once you have registered, you'll get an OTP. That is just to verify that you are a user of the solution and you're not a bot. And then you're able to log in. Once you log in, you complete your profile. The reason we have you complete your profile is so that when you do go lodge your complaint, some information is already pre-filled out for you, so you don't have to repeatedly submit the same information. Then you're able to lodge your complaint. When you're lodging the complaint, you go through the decision tree. This is just to make sure that you are submitting your complaint to the right ombuds. If not, you will then be directed to the correct ombud afterwards. Then you'll go through the step-by-step process until you submit your complaint, and then you get your reference number. Once you have your reference number, you can then go to your case history, or complaints history rather, and you'll be able to see any update that happens on the complaint you submitted. Okay, and then lastly, we have your informational chatbot. This is where you will find assistance 24/7. So you can either ask it a question and it'll give you an answer. You can also ask to speak to an agent. It'll provide you with the details of the agent. Or you can request a call back and then they'll call you. The chatbot also has your frequently asked questions on there. Also contextual responses. So we leverage AI to understand customer queries and provide relevant and contextual responses. We also have proactive suggestions. So this is when you don't know what type of question to ask. So we'll pick up on key points in the message that you sent and we'll give you a list of information that might be relevant to you. It also has seamless integration. So the chatbot is integrated onto the app, but we can also plug it in on multiple platforms like the WhatsApp as well as on the website so that the information that users see is one. So we have one version of information. Okay, some of the benefits. We have it's convenient and efficient, so consumers can conveniently lodge complaints anytime, anywhere with their smart devices. It takes you but less than 2 minutes to lodge a complaint. This is why the profile was important, so that some of that information you don't have to refill it out again. Up-to-date information, so you get real-time updates on complaints that you submit, and also enhanced engagement. So this is through the chatbot notification, news and articles. So the CGSO will then send you information, so that's where the engagement comes in. Yeah, that's about it from us. Thank you so much. I hope everybody has downloaded the app, and we look forward to seeing all your complaints. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we go, I think we should do a Q&A, because these are the people we need to ask the hard questions to before I ask you hard questions. So very, very good job. Well done. Well done. All right, any questions in the audience? Please feel free. Please take this opportunity to ask any questions related to the application. Right now, at this moment, yes, you are not getting any gift for asking a question, but at least you walk away with an answer. Anybody with a question? None whatsoever? Yes, sir. Please, can we get the mic to him, please? Yes.
Morning.
Morning.
So to get into the CGSO, you pay fees and all that, and then you are a participant. Can you lodge a complaint if the company that is involved is not a participant in the CGSO?
Good question, and also open up the question for the CGSO team as well to answer some of these questions. So if the complaint that you have and if those service providers aren't on the CGSO app, are you still able to complain about them? Nikki, please handle that for us.
Yes, certainly. You can lodge complaints against suppliers in the consumer retail in goods and services industry.
Awesome.
But you will go through the decision tree. So if, for example, it doesn't belong to our office, you'll be referred to the correct office to approach.
Awesome. Did you get your answer, sir? Yes, thank you very much. Any more questions? There's a question right there at the back. Please, may we get the mic to her?
Thank you very much. I just wanted to find out if you are able to download supporting document in respect of the complaint on the app.
Good question. Are you able to upload any supporting documents? You may stand right there by the mic, sir.
Yeah, so the application enables you to be able to download the supporting documents. And the important thing is that we should understand is that with mobile application, as you build them, the requirements keep on growing, right? So we basically, you start from version 1, and as you go along, there will be a lot more requirements. As users, please feel free to give feedback, to write reviews on the application. If something is not happening, just get in there, give us a review. If maybe you're not happy with anything else, you can also contact us through the mobile app stores. Then we will work on some of those features together with the CGSO. Thank you.
Awesome. That's a very good question. Thank you very much. There's another question right here.
Good morning. I think having dealt with the journey of the CGSO from the snail mail to where we are, is it that this will only be the platform where the complaints will be received, or will they still open for other options?
I think the CEO can take that for us. Will the other streams of communication still be available for complaints? Or will this be the primary platform for communication?
Thank you for that question. I think if you had asked this question in 2023, whether there will be any other platform than the snail mail, I probably would have said, no, you have to go to the post office, whatever. But now we're sitting here 10 years later, and we have seen this thing unfolding. So currently, this is an added platform. The other platforms are still available. We still use WhatsApp if that is what is better for you. If you still want to go to the website, you still go through that platform. You can still call our call center. But this is an added, I think the young people, and those that are technologically privy will also enjoy this part, but it's not the primary. We would appreciate if you move to that, because then it means that we are moving along to that. Who knows what else is coming next? And as the CGSO, we like being the first. So, as I said, yes, and in the Ombud space, and I'm sure that the other Ombuds will also. Thank you so much.
Nice one, nice one. Really love the questions, very relevant. Any more questions? There's a lady right there at the back.
Good morning. I think I need a bit of education. So I want to understand how much power does the CGSO have? So if a complaint is received and it's resolved, how much obligation does the supplier have to make sure that they comply with the resolution? So is it a legal thing?
Okay, thank you so much. I think that's a very good question. I think it speaks to what CGSO is about. Actually, she just wants a whole perimeter of how it works, how deep is the involvement, and in terms of legalities as well, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to let the CEO please come up and answer that question. I think you may sit down, yes. And if there is a question addressed to you, I will ask you to maybe just answer it on the mic. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause.
Oh, okay.
Over to our CEO.
Thank you so much. I think, sorry to put you on the spot by yourself, because some of the questions that are coming are much more technical and requires us to deal with our mandate and what we can do. So we are an alternative dispute resolution body, alternative to the National Consumer Commission. The NCC is the regulator in the space. We are an ADR. So complaints where they come to us, we do mediate amicably to reach a solution between the consumer and the supplier. We have no adjudicative powers. We have no powers to make, binding rulings. When after mediating, and I think the next speaker will touch on the complaints process. Maybe I must just give you a short answer. Then in the next item, we will go deep into the whole complaints handling process. But a short answer to what you're saying, we have no adjudicative powers. In terms of the framework of the complaints handling, when complaints come to us, we mediate. We first give the first opportunity to the supplier to resolve within the first 15 days. If the complaint is not closed within that period, we then intervene and mediate between the two parties and advise in terms of the law, in the interest of fairness also. If the mediation can't resolve that complaint, and it's very few of those complaints that are not resolved at that level, then we escalate to the NCC, who is the regulator. And if it fails at that level, then it goes to the National Consumer Tribunal, which is a much more formalized space now. Their rulings are now binding, and they are equivalent to the court rulings. So I think that's a short answer. Do I answer your question? Okay.
Yeah, very clear. And she did say very few of those queries get to the top, so that means most of them get resolved efficiently and effectively. Let's move on to the next part of the program, but before that, let's ask two questions. All right, so there are key features of the application. Can somebody take us through that? There are a lot of them. There are 5. So this question is very hard. Yes, ma'am.
Frequently asked questions, also talking or live chats.
Complaint history.
Complaint history.
Yes. That's not 5. You have 3.5. You need to get full marks. Yes, sir? Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. But with the 24-hour service 24/7, that's not one of the key features of the application. Although everything you said is correct to what the application has. So, I mean, I'll just give you a round of applause. They've already given you a gift. Keep it. Keep it. That means we don't have any more gifts. Oh my goodness. Do we have one more? Yes? No? All right, one more. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's the complaint lodging.
Mm-hmm.
It's the complaint history real-time update.
Yes.
It's the news and article, and then it's also notification, and then it's the information chatter services as well.
So there's one that you missed. Something about a number that you get after you have, done your complaint.
It's a
What do you
reference
use?
number.
A reference number. Oh, well done. That was very good. You actually followed the order and then you missed one part. So well done to you. Okay, let's move on to the spokesperson. This is the Media Liaison Training and Outreach Manager. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Omar Ramaru to come up and share more about the application. Okay, so if you know the involvement for Omar, you'll give her a better round of applause. Please give it up for Omar Ramaru.
I was about to say it must go lower and lower. Sure. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to see each and every one of you this morning to celebrate with us this milestone. Runa re batho ba education, re driver consumer education. Do I have Ntate Bodibe mo? Can we start with a song? When we go to the rural, Ntate Bodibe, can you be given a mic? Can we just do this thing? Can the mic move to Mr. Bodibe, please? Can we start with a song? When we drive consumer education in the rural areas there, Yes.
Yo, tonolo fata.
Yo.
Tonolo fata, yo. Tonolo fata, yo. Oh, Galibizola. Yo, tonolo fata.
Yo.
Tonolo fata, yo. Tonolo fata, yo. Oh,
Galibizola. Thank you so much. Sure. This is the ambience that we create when we are dealing with, consumers in the rural areas who are being robbed, who do not understand their consumer rights. By the time we leave the place, people feel empowered and they know that they can speak up or speak back when something goes wrong from the transaction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just here to take you through the complaint process. We have just launched the app, as the CEO has alluded, that we needed to make sure that we are relevant. We needed to ensure that we are moving with times. However, maybe some of us, we are asking ourselves, and then, okay, there's an app. When I've lodged the complaint, what happens next? So I'm just going to take us through the complaints process. As CEO has mentioned that this is an added-on channel to complaint. Other channels are still there. Your email, your website, your WhatsApp, your social media, those channels are still there. So this is an add-on channel. We can go to the first slide. Just to give context of who we are, maybe to those who do not understand exactly our role. I know the previous speakers have touched on our role, but in a nutshell, the Consumer Goods and Services Ombud is an alternative dispute resolution scheme. And I'm just used to other audience. I nearly said hallelujah, but it's okay, it's okay. Because I feel I've pushed a point there, you know. But it's okay. So, we were established in 2013 in accordance with the law, the legislation, Consumer Protection Act, Section 82, subsection 6. And what we do specifically, we receive and mediate consumer complaints. If you are aggrieved, if you are not happy with what you have purchased or what you have paid for, you then bring the complaint to us. But remember what is important. You first complain from the person that you are aggrieved to first. It's only fair, right? So if you are not happy with shop A, you then, oh thank you, this will help, thank you. If you are not happy with shop A, you start by telling them that I'm not happy with what I've transacted here. You allow them a chance to resolve your complaint, right? When then they now provide you with the feedback and you are not happy with the feedback, you are dissatisfied with the feedback, then the law allows you to approach the ombudsman with jurisdiction. If it's a point, you can say amen, it's okay. And then, we are not a fly-by-night. We report to the National Consumer Commission, hence you see the acting commissioner is here. Is that bad, guys? Really? Really? What's No, I think I'll come this side. Because when I'm dealing with the heights, I'm also dealing with heights. So I'm challenged in so many spheres. But it's okay, I'll move the stage. So, as I was saying, we are not a fly-by-night. We report to the NCC, the National Consumer Commission. We also report to the DTIC. We can move. And our vision, I purposefully put this slide so that we understand what we aim for as an organization. We aim to be recognized by all stakeholders. And who are the stakeholders? Everyone who seated here this morning. As the speediest, number one, speediest. You know when you are frustrated about what you have invested in, you want some answers. We want to be recognized as the speediest, independent. As the CEO has said, we do not take side. We stand in between. We listen to you. We allow the supplier to also provide feedback. Then we assess based on the law. We don't assess based on how we feel on that day. We do not mediate complaints out of how we feel, but only based on the law. Speediest, independent, and fairest. In whatever that we are doing, we ensure that we are fair to both parties. Number one, the consumer to obtain redress. Secondly, the supplier to retain their customer. Hence, the CEO did mention that we mediate complaints harmoniously. So this is what we strive for. And alternative dispute resolution service in the country. I'm sure it will go back to my colleague there, the other ombudsman office. In the country, and one that is completely impartial and compliant. I will emphasize, we do not resolve complaints on how we are feeling on that particular morning. We depend on the legislation. We can move. Then what happens when you have lodged your complaint through all the channels, either or, website, social media, now the complaint reached the CGSO office. We assess and establish whether the complaint is within our jurisdiction. We do not mediate each and every complaint. We assess if it's within our jurisdiction. Anything that is within the sector of goods and services, it will come to us. However, we also need to filter deeper because even MIOSA, they are in the space of services and goods. But if the complaint is against a car dealership, that does not come to us. It will go to the Motor Industry Ombudsman. So we assess. If then the complaint is not within our jurisdiction, we then refer it to either other ombuds, other offices who are also dealing with complaints. We will refer. We do not say this complaint does not belong to us and we discard it. We refer it to the relevant office. And the consumer will be advised that unfortunately the matter is not within our mandate and it has been referred to an X office, and you will be provided with the contact numbers so that you follow up with that office. We can move. So now, if the matter is within our jurisdiction, your complaint lies within our mandate. It's either you're complaining about a defective electric appliance or defective furniture, that is within our mandate. Then we will start the process of mediation. What do? Once you log a complaint, the system will give you a temporal reference number, either from the website or from the mobile application. You will receive a temporal reference number. But please note this, if you are not going to receive the temporal reference number, therefore it means your complaint is not lodged successfully. Are we together? So you need to redo the process. You need to receive a temporal reference number. Then you know that your complaint has been lodged successfully, and the system will then allocate your complaint to an administrator. Oh, okay, thank you. Hey, the camera is also battling to see me. Hey, yeah, there, yo. Yeah, a lot of challenges, but it's okay. Now your complaint is within the CGSO system. You've got your temporal reference number, and then it will be allocated to an administrator. During all this, you are being updated through an email that this is your administrator, and then a case number will be generated. Remember, at the point of lodging, a temporal reference number was given. Now a case number will be provided to you together with the administrator's name, who you will then start engaging. If he or she requires any additional supporting documents, they will engage with you either through the telephone call or through the email address, and so forth and so forth. So now, just when you have received your administrator's name and the case number, then the administrator will then escalate the complaint to the supplier. The supplier is the person or the shop that you are aggrieved with, right? So the matter goes back to the supplier or the service provider. So we can visualize this, ladies and gentlemen, that it is then important that the first step you take is to tell the person you are aggrieved to. So that when you come to the Ombud, when we throw back the complaint to the supplier, they are already aware that this complaint, OMA did raise this thing with us. So now, our process says, we then give the supplier 15 business days to resolve the matter with you before we get involved. We are saying, hello, I've seen some of our participants, and I'm grateful that you are here. We are saying, hello, we have received a complaint against your brand or against your shop. So the Consumer Goods and Services Ombud, therefore, provide you with 15 days to resolve the matter with your customer and provide feedback to us. On the 15th day, you need to have provided the feedback. And it won't be a tedious thing if you are aware of the complaint. You have already attempted to resolve the matter. You will then say, CGSO, we have done 1, 2, 3 about this complaint, but the consumer is still not happy. So that feedback is very important to us. Then when it comes back to us, if it's an easy one, then the administrators will resolve it at their level. will then say, if you are saying, I'm aware that the particular product that I've sold to OMA is defective, and this is the remedy that I intend to ensure that OMA obtain redress. And CGSO, if it's happy, then you get your settlement. Remember the 3 R's? I'm just going to go on like you are consumers, because I know you are consumers. You transact every time. The 3 R's: refund, replacement, and repair that you qualify for if you have purchased a defective product. Okay then, what happens next? Your matter has been resolved. The supplier was not difficult. They acknowledge that they have done wrong and they are intending to correct and to ensure that you are happy as a customer. Then what happens if now the supplier is saying, but no, now they are challenging that you are saying the product is defective. They are coming back to CGSO that, but we are saying the product does not have any problem. Or if it has, it means it was a physical damage. Physical damage, that means the supplier alleges that you as a consumer, you could have done something to that product to fail performing. Do we understand? So now the matter gets complicated, a bit complicated. This is now when the CGSO will then push the matter to adjudicative department. These are the team of guys who will look now into the law, zoom into the legislation. Because now as a supplier, you are challenging, or the supplier is challenging what the consumer alleges. So it will be that back and forth. Now, the short presentation that I've just made to you, ladies and gentlemen, it then takes us back to what the CEO was saying, to say, we do not have adjudicative powers. We do not enforce the law. The National Consumer Commission is here and it's there to make sure that that come to pass. What we do, we give a recommendation. We say, based on the law, this is how we perceive or we propose that you can sort out this matter. We give a recommendation. And I must say, there are smart participants who are the suppliers of goods and services sitting here. They accept CGSO recommendation. Hence, the process of mediating complaints, it does not even have to reach the NCC. We resolve complaints at our level. I think I don't want to be very long. The matter of complaint process can be, we can speak about it a week and not taking a break. But in a nutshell, that is what is happening in the background when you have lodged a complaint with our office. And when your matter has been resolved, you'll get the communication and you will go to the store to get your redress, if it's a positive redress. But then maybe you're sitting there, you're like, oh, what happens if now the shop does not want to accept your recommendation? So now your powers or your rights that you are given by the law does not end with us. The very same legislation say you have the right now to take the matter to the NCC. So I'm sure we can understand the hierarchy. And the NCC has also the power to give, to refer your matter to the tribunal as a consumer. So we will understand that the process does not end at the ombudsman level, but we recommend that the suppliers of goods and services can work with us so that we mediate the complaints harmoniously and they retain their customers. That is what is important to us. But if they are saying we are not accepting, we are not going to cooperate, then unfortunately the law is there to say, consumer, you have the right to take the matter to the NCC. Thank you very, very much.
All right, before you go, we're going to have a Q&A. In fact, what I would have preferred is for us to get 2 chairs here, podcast set up, so that we can address some of the questions, and I also have questions for you. And we open it up, of course, for you. That was a lot of information. So we have a lot of questions for you, and we know that you are very good at this media press thing. So we are going to have questions for her. Please, may we have Chairs, yes, I already see people with questions. Please note it down. Are we able to do that? Yes, thank you. Please, can you help us? Kopa le re thushe re tlo tjea nako e ya go tjea di-question tša lena, mme ukuthi une question cela ukuthi uyibhale phansi sizonika lethuba leli ukuthi nishere ama-question wenu nathi. Siyabonga. Cela nithathe le podium. This is why you were tempted to say hallelujah and amen. It's this podium. It's giving you the church vibe, right? All right. So we need to, okay, so we're sitting here. All right. There we go. All right, let's center it. I think let's center it a bit. Okay, you may sit this side, ma'am. Miss Oma, you may sit this side. All right, fantastic presentation. Ra leboga. I think it was clear. There are a couple of questions. Ma'am, let's go for you, and then we're going to go for you, sir. So we'll start with her. Please address your question.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for the excitement and the interest in the use of technology to reach out to people. I've just got a question. Can you track your complaint if you don't have the app?
Good question.
Okay, I must say that I've got my colleagues here, Nikki and George, who are very much involved in the development of the app, so you will assist with responding, right? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good question. You can, with the app, you can track the complaints that you've lodged. If you don't have the app, there's alternative channels that you can use just to find out, what's happening with your complaint. So there's the WhatsApp channel that's actually instantaneous during office hours, and there's also the call center, and there's also emails. So if you don't have the app, you're more than welcome to use one of the other channels to just get, just to track how far your complaint is. No, the technology is not interlinked as such yet. That is version 2. It's going to come out soon. But yeah, for the complaints on the app will show, but anything, the other channels, unfortunately, you need to use. Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sepohlako, did you hear that? So they want to be able to track the status of their complaints on multiple devices. That's a tricky one, but I think it's definitely possible, and they can certainly do that. Unless you have nothing else to add, we're going to take our next question with you, sir, right at the back. Yes.
Morning, guys. My name is Skalk. I'm a journalist from Engineering News. Sorry, just wanted to, a quick question. You guys mentioned that your call center obviously does as many languages as you are able to address in it. Would the app also have all the South African languages, not the newest one, obviously the newest one as well, sorry, all 12 of them, sorry, that's what I meant.
We have so many, oh my goodness, I wonder.
George, I must say that one, we didn't think about it. For the app to have all the South African languages, unfortunately, at this point, only your agents can speak the South African languages, right? And the app can only be in English, yes.
The app can only be in English,
yeah.
but version 2 will definitely have a Sawubona, Dumela, Ngizela ukukusiza, ngakusiza kanjani ngequery yakho. That's a very good question. Thank you for that. And I think also these questions are so relevant also for the programming team to make sure that as the systems advance, also the consumers are uplifted, empowered, and are able to share their complaints effectively and efficiently. Just one question that I have, well, I've got numerous questions, but one, what are some of the important supporting documents that consumers need to keep in mind when they have a complaint? For instance, when you're in a store, should you keep your receipt? should you know when the incident is happening, what time it's happening? You know, the basic supporting documents that they should be having.
Nikki and George will come in. However, what is important is your receipts. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't mean that when you do not have a receipt is the end of your journey regarding complaint resolution. But we are saying the receipt at least make the process easier,
right.
You know, especially when you have purchased a common product which any second shop will be selling, then the receipt is very important. And we know that as we are moving around conducting education, consumers often say, but these receipts, they fade.
Yeah.
So I can keep it in my purse for 6 months, but when I open this receipt,
It's
I
faded,
can hardly
yeah.
read what is in there. But we encourage consumers to, at least, we've got smartphones. Let's take a picture of those receipts. I heard my CEO in another meeting saying she keeps on taking the pictures of those receipts, but she cannot trace those receipts in her
I
phone.
see.
But I'm not sure how we can label them. But for now, we are encouraging that let's take a picture.
Yeah.
Or if we do not have smartphones, we can then make a copy. Yes, of that
Make a copy of that. And I think most retailers also have, they email your receipts to you. Not all of them, some of them do send you a receipt. So just opt for that option to have the receipts emailed to you. And also if you're using a mobile device that's with a fruit name, you can open a folder and you can save all your receipts on one folder named receipts. And then it will be easy for you to track them. One more question at the back.
Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
very much for a detailed presentation. I've got a lot of questions, but then I think for time, I've got just one. Does the app allows for the consumers to escalate the complaints in cases where they are not receiving a desired or maybe responses from the allocated administrators?
So you want to complain to them about their service, basically, if they're not responding quick enough. Yes. So are you able to escalate the matter? Good question, yes?
I think Nikki and George will assist in that.
Okay. So you answer the question later, or you want to just quickly address it now? Okay, there's the mic.
So part of the app, there's the chatbot function and then the talk to us function. That's part of the chatbot. So any escalations, you're more than welcome then obviously to use the chatbot function, the talk to us, that comes directly to the call center team and not the administrators team. So you're more than welcome for any escalations and things like that to use that function.
Oh, great. And I think I like that there are so many platforms for you to communicate through. If you don't win on this one, you can simply try the phone call center, email, or even via the website. And now, of course, the mobile application app. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to check with regards to the complaints process, because you mentioned that a consumer must engage the supplier before they engage the CGSO. If you find that, you did say, you can say to somebody, I can complain to the CGSO. If the supplier hasn't been...
sorry, ma'am, please may you stand. We just, in terms of production, they requesting that when you're asking your question, please may you stand so that they don't have to readjust their tripods. Yes, ma'am.
So if a consumer has logged a complaint with the CGSO, but they haven't actually engaged with the supplier or the service provider, what is the process then? What do we refer them back to them, or does the administrator engage the supplier? Just what is the loop to close that if, for example, they are logging it with you, but they haven't actually approached us first?
Okay, remember in my presentation, I did mention that when we receive your complaint, the first step is for us to take it back to the supplier. So either way, you have reported it to them first, or you came to us because you were not aware that you need to report to them to give them a fair chance, then it will go back to them. That 15 days will assist them to deal with your case if they have the intention to make sure that you obtain the redress. So remember, the 15 days is for them to sort out the matter with you as their customer. They can just only provide feedback to us. So the short answer of that is that we will accept your complaint, then the supplier will be given a chance to resolve the matter with themselves and yourself as their customer.
I think then maybe following up to that question, what if supplier khona ayisi responsive within leso sikhathi nibanikeze sona ukuthi ba respond within the 15 days, nithatha ama steps maphi ukumake sure ukuthi customer yenu ijabulile?
That's a very good question. I will allow the complaints manager to respond.
And I'm sure they heard me. Please don't translate it.
I was about to say, Nikki, The MC is asking, oh, I was leaving. Okay, let me assume that you understood, Nikki.
Are you just saying if a supplier
So-
is not cooperating?
Yes. Wow, please, can we clap that?
If it's one of our participants, we will engage with them. They generally will have responded. If it's a non-participant supplier, then part of our process is to send follow-ups, and if we still don't receive a response, would be then to send a contravention notice, and if we still don't receive a response, we terminate and advise consumers to lodge a complaint with the National Consumer Commission. But
Okay.
with participants, it's not often an issue.
Okay. And there's also in informal suppliers, ra tseba gore batho ba reka ko di maraba start le di shopong tse ding, and of course we can't determine where people buy, but there are informal suppliers, and how do you deal with those suppliers? How do you get a hold of them? And maybe some of them don't have contact details, emails, and anything of that sort. Are consumers allowed? Do they have access gore ba ka complain ka di suppliers tse leng gore aba formal goba aba registered?
Wait, your questions this morning, they are so relevant. I'm going to answer the first part, then I'm going to allow the complaints manager to answer the second part. The first part, informal businesses. We need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, the Consumer Protection Act encompasses everyone who is trading within South African borders. So for as long as you are trading within South African borders, you are bound by this legislation to adhere to it. Nikki, can you assist with regards to the contact numbers? It's an informal shop.
Yeah, basically, we call it Instagram shops because it's
Yes, Instagram boutiques.
Yeah, and it's happened a lot and things like that. So we use alternative mediums as well because it's true. Most of the small industries and things like that doesn't have like contact details. We've started with a process where we try to contact this person via social media and then also WhatsApp as well. And our response rate is actually quite good in receiving feedback from these small shops as well.
Awesome, fantastic.
Yes, and maybe just to add on that, MC, to say, once our office pick up a trend from these informal businesses, like on your social media businesses, and that they are accepting people's money with the intention of not providing a service or not supplying the products, then we name and shame. We alert consumers that be aware when you trade with this brand, trade and exercise, extra caution.
Extra caution. That is so wonderful. Yes, Ms. CEO.
Thank you very much. I think you've answered very well, but I wanted to just add one more thing. One, to emphasize on her question that it's very important that if you have an issue with me, first come to me before you go elsewhere. I think it's just a principle, and I think that's the one that we also apply, that it's important that you go back, because sometimes the suppliers do resolve those questions or those challenges before you can go to escalate to the higher level. It's like, matela ko motswading, how o mong a entse wrong before o molelo re phela wa nkgata or something, you are hurting me, before you run to the motswadi, first address with your peer. So that's the approach. But what I wanted to emphasize on what Oma was saying is that the suppliers that have registered with the CGSO, we give them decals that they put at their doors. If you walk a sign to say that if anything goes wrong, we are happy to
services was there to make sure that those relationships, when glitches happen, they will still be maintained. You will still go to that shop and still buy. So when a dispute arises, it needs to be resolved, as the CGSO has said, fairly. The supplier and the consumer will have a neutral platform for that resolution mechanism. The CGSO, as an alternative dispute resolution agent, is that platform for consumers. It is fair, but then what we know is outside the transaction. So it allows, that communication in a way between the consumer and the supplier in such a way that, we would actually, even looking at the law, they would even say, yes, the law says within this period of time, but then, because now we know that participants even that are within CGSO, because now they value the client, they even go as far as appeasing some of the consumers. So what we know is that the aim of the CGSO, when they mediate, they try, and which I know is that they try to find a middle ground that ensures that, as Omar has said, that the 3 R's, that there is that possibility to repair, to replace, and to refund. So what they are is that they provide a conducive environment that makes it quick and possible to get resolution that is closer to where the transaction took place. As the NCC, when we are talking of an ADR, is that amongst us here, we have participants within the scheme. As the NCC, we headed to your call. In response to your proposal, you proposed to us, based on Section 82 of the CPA, you said to us, as an industry, you consulted amongst yourself. As you are the stakeholders, you demarcated this industry when you approached us. The NCC, after publishing the proposed industry code, we also went out for public comments. We considered submissions that were made in the public space. We made revisions based on those comments that we had received, and then from there we proceeded to recommend the code to the minister. And the minister also, for the second time, he did the very same thing. He consulted again broadly, and then until we got to a point wherein the code was accredited. And I am talking to you and addressing you as businesses, those that see themselves as participants and those that believe that they were not consulted. When the industry was demarcated, you were given that opportunity to say, us in the fast-moving goods space, we are not part of the CGSO. But most of you, you failed to do that because you knew that you were part of the industry. We urge you as participants, or we urge you as part of the industry, please, as you went on to come to us and say to us, we support the code. We ask you today, remain true to your word. Support the industry. Support CGSO. The support that we are asking you to offer them is that pay your dues when they are due. Please pay your dues when they are due. Secondly, when there is a complaint against you, it is said when you see a brand that says that we are here because we care about our customers. But then when there is a complaint, you drag your feet to really make good. The CGSO has 60 days based on its code to resolve each and every complaint. We sometimes joke with, I used to joke with the old chairperson of the tribunal to say that, what does 20 days on average mean? Because now you can have one complaint that you will resolve in one day, and you have one that you will resolve in like
120 days. But then when you bring them as average, it will still give you will still be within that average. So we don't want to see averages. We want to see the CGSO striving to achieve or to resolve or being able to reach an amicable solution between the consumer and the supplier within 60 days. Our role as the NCC is that after the accreditation, we monitor the work that they are supposed to be doing. Yes, they are not in terms of now like ourselves as a statutory body. They are also a statutory body in their own space. Because when the code was accredited by a minister, then it brought them into the fold of the NCC within Section 82 to say that they've got that space to resolve and mediate based on the CPA. So when we go to the tribunal, the very same suppliers now that sometimes they would show some of our ADRs a middle finger, is that when we pray for, in terms of now the gravity of your action, the one area that we have is the attitude of the supplier in trying to resolve the complaints. And some of our tribunal members are here, you can ask them. The tribunal do consider that. And sometimes you would find that even if the fine, we would have prayed for a smaller fine, they will base on your conduct against the Ombud and also against, even if you will cooperate with ourselves, we will be saying that in our papers that the matter was referred to the CGSO, the matter was not resolved because the supplier was not cooperative, and in that case we plead for a fine. Because the time that a consumer spend in calling the CGSO, the time that we spend in going out to investigate that matter are the resources that government is spending in trying to get the redress. One way or the other, as a supplier, you would have to make good. If you don't actually make it good from the time when a complaint was laid, then you will have to make good when an administrative fine is levied against you. So all that we are asking from you as a supplier is that please respond when there is a complaint against you. What we are now observing today is progress that government has actually been pleading with all of us within the space of regulation to make ourselves accessible to consumers. And we know that given the stages 10 years back when we started accrediting the code and looking at where we are from the numbers of suppliers that they started with to where they are today, you as suppliers in supporting the CGSO, you are the ones that actually made today possible because they could only now get the funds. They can now improve their services because of the funds that you made available to them. And for that, we thank you for supporting the code. To the team in CGSO, thank you, colleagues. To the team in CGSO, we know that we have been on your beds most of the time, especially to the complaints resolution team to say that, guys, your numbers are not showing up. You are not giving us the confidence that you are mediating. That is what we do. Every quarter we look at their statistics. We would be asking them to say, you said 60 days. Why are you not meeting the 60 days? What are the glitches? What are the issues? Yes, they would refer to some of our suppliers that are not responding in time. But then what we know is that sometimes when we look at the statistics, we know that in South Africa, people that had the means, in terms of just putting a postage stamp or maybe an email to approach any government entity or even the CGSO, are the people that normally get benefits from the government. But then the people that are far-flung, the people that would use WhatsApp, that would never have data to call for 5-10 minutes. I know that sometimes also when I call the NCC is what happens, because I sometimes test our services. You would wait there because you are in the queue for 5-10 minutes, or sometimes even 20 until your data runs out. That sometimes those people are the people that don't get the services. But the steps that have been taken from 2 years ago when we started with the COVID CEO, I really want to applaud you. From the time when we started now, starting with the chat box, starting with the callbacks and all that, using the 0800 number, is that you were trying as much as possible to make yourself accessible. CGSO team, I know that you are trying hard, especially the questions that were asked in relation to people that sometimes we can't reach, your spaza shops and all that. Those are the suppliers that we are struggling with. Because you cannot, even from the NCC side sometimes, when we have to investigate, we get those suppliers that you can't even save because they change their addresses every time that you really try to approach them. But those are the ones that we have to now try name and shame, as we have also now tried to do that for suppliers that we can't reach, to say that we warn consumers, not that we don't want them to make business, but we are saying to consumers, exercise caution. And I really want to applaud you for reaching out to some of those suppliers that are outside your reach, just kind of like also bringing them into the fold. We know that we have to move mountains sometimes to get some of them to subscribe, but you are doing your best. And today, while you are trying to reach those consumers, using this app, we know that for some it will be difficult, but we know that with your WhatsApp call and with your WhatsApp line and the chat box, those will still be available. We will still be able to reach those consumers in the far-flung areas. And for that, for making yourself accessible, and making your services efficient, and also trying to be effective in resolving the complaints. I really say, Halala, you have done your best, and I congratulate you. And as the NCC family, we are saying that we today feel proud, because now we don't actually, in this moment, we feel proud. We don't regret accrediting you, and still going to continue accrediting you, because you are striving to be the best. And we really appreciate you. And thank you. Thanks. Keep the good work up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the National Consumer Commission, Ms. Tezi Mabuza. That was a brilliant presentation. Thank you very, very much. We're almost at the end, I promise. Please may I have my raffle? Where's the raffle? Just 2 more gifts to give away, but I'm not asking you any questions. It's just the raffle. And 2 names or 2 lucky people are going to walk away with the biggest gifts for the day. And that makes me so excited. Immediately after that, we're going to welcome our CEO to come and just close. But before that, we're going to play. Thank you very much. Let's figure this out. There we go. Thank you very much. Shaky, shaky. I'm going to try and be fair and close my eyes. Okay, there we go. That's the first name there. Let's see. Wow. The first winner for the raffle is Samira Mota. Yes, you hear? Ha. Yes, no? If he or she is not here, we're going to move over to the next name. Okay? Oh, okay. I have to move because the camera doesn't trust me. Hoping somebody trusts me. Okay, I've got the next one. Let's see. Well, second, but final winner, Fred Machato, ne? Oh, wow! Mr. Fred, congratulations! Ha, ke nepothism, eh? Le ropa. you're a born winner, whatever. No, it's your gift, it's your gift. We have to be fair. Because we're going to walk out, everyone's going to be gone. You're going to come to me and say, you see, you didn't give me my gift. So please give him his gift. Some people are just lucky, right? All right, the next one. Ruffle. Okay, let me do this. Ooh, one. Okay, let's see. Mahosi Monacheng. Give it up for Mahosi. Mahosi, I actually have a question for you, so you have to come up. And if you can't answer a question, then you can't get the gift. So yours is a bit hard. What was the first statement that the CEO made? I'm just joking. All right. We are almost at the end of our program, but they say those who start the program need to end the program. So I'm going to take this time to again welcome the queen of the building, our CEO for CGSO, Miss Queen. As soon as she's done, there is going to be a media interview that's going to be happening on stage. So please, if you want to be interviewed, maybe you really want to be on TV, please don't go. Just come and wait in the queue and make sure that you're being interviewed. I also just want to give one announcement. We are going to have lunch at the Boma restaurant? That's where we'll be having lunch, but the team is ready to escort you and to give you directions of where we will be having lunch. But I'll come again one more time to officially close it, but our CEO is coming to wrap it up with a bang. One more time, please give it up for our CEO.
Wow, thank you so much. And big ups to our MC. Can we give her a hand of applause? To ourselves, I mean, this day would not have happened without you. Let's give ourselves a hand of applause. Thank you so much for gracing this event. We are so grateful. We know that it would not have happened without you. I just want to thank everybody, our sponsors, Coca-Cola, who is part of our participants. Thank you for sponsoring us. Is it Hisense? Thank you for giving us those gifts. I'm sure the winners will enjoy them. I don't know how I was disqualified to win something today, but it's okay. I'll live with that. Thank you so much. And thank you, Commissioner, for your, as she was saying here, I was like, I'm hoping that you are recording so that you can give to my chairperson so that, when the time for my appraisals comes, we can just play the video. But anyway, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to our participants, our developers. I think now that we have now launched the app, we have started today to jot down all the questions that you were giving to us. We're writing down as ways to develop the version 2, obviously. The different languages, it's going to be tedious. We have started to translate some of our materials to our African languages. We have this year submitted to the board the vulnerable consumer policy. And I think the commissioner has also touched on those, the elderly, the children, the youth. We want the youth also because we track the ages of people that are bringing complaints in our office. And we want to see, are the youth also complaining? Are they not complaining? Is it because they don't have complaints or they're busy with something? That's why we also invited them to be here today to represent. Thank you, our young people who are here. But we want them to also, we are partnering with the schools. I think next week we will be going to Limpopo, we'll go to Tzaneen and to Venda to try and speak to the young children, because even in my house I've seen that if you look at expired food or things like those, sometimes I would overlook them, but my daughter, my son will always say, have you seen that this has expired? So we are tapping into that space of educating the young children, so that the families, you will just do the paying, but the compliance aspects will be taken care of through our children. So there's a lot more that we're working on to make ourselves accessible, to make ourselves also efficient, to serve you better. So we will capture those, continue to give us feedback so that we can improve on what we are doing. But also, Something to also mention is that we are working with some of our stakeholders to make sure that currently when you access this, we provided Wi-Fi today for you to download, but we're working on making sure that this app becomes data-free, so that everybody that uses it can be able to use it without spending data, because we want to reach even the people from the grassroots, people from the rural areas where they don't have accessibility. We are trying to make sure that with the participant fees that we are receiving, thank you, let's go ahead and do that, because, thank you so much. Because we know that we want to access the consumers, we want to give redress to the consumers. In the areas where there is no accessibility of internet and all that, we want to make sure that we are accessible even there. When you track on our complaints, most of our complaints come from Gauteng, Western Cape and KZN. And those are our economic hubs, where people that are economically active are from. But when you look at other provinces, we find that the complaints are less in those provinces. So we are putting in measures to make sure that we make ourselves accessible even to those elements, because we don't believe that those people do not have complaints. We believe that perhaps they are struggling to reach us. So we're trying to go to them and increase. And I think your feedback is forever welcome. And as we look forward to launching version, the second version, the third version, the Venda version, the Zulu version, whatsoever, we will see as this thing unfolds. Thank you so much. And I just want us maybe in closing to request my working committee, you know, there's some of the staff that were helping in the background, the meetings that we were having with the developers, with the Innovation Hub. I don't know if the people from the Innovation Hub also made it today. I remember when we were dealing with Dr. De Vries, I think Advocate Hall and them. There were meetings that were happening, trying to structure. Can you guys stand so that the people can see the people behind this? Because right now people will think it's me who've been doing this. Let's give them a hand of applause. It's those who thought that perhaps it's me, it was not me. I had to reveal it at the end, that it's actually there's a team behind this, and thank you so much for the hard work. And I think on that note, we will be now doing a toast so that we don't delay you any further. I think we're still on time, right? Yeah, we're supposed to finish at 1, but we're going to toast. I don't know if we have enough glasses. I would love everybody to take part on this. We will be limited by the number of glasses that are there, but let everybody feel free to take part. Oma, if you can come through and assist. So in the opening of the bottles, I'm not that good. You know, some of us grew up in the church and we're not allowed to touch these things. So let's see those that didn't grow up in church to come and assist us. Enjoy. I wish you all the best as you go back. Enjoy the lunch. Thank you for gracing us today.
Thank you, CEO. Thank you. As we conduct the toast, I will just request we've got limited glasses, but everyone will partake in the toast, again, spiritual. We're going to believe that we are partaking. And I'm just going to ask my leaders from the tribunal to come in the front and let's see. Yeah, let me also ask Tepo and the team to come and partake in the toasts. And the DTIC, Millicent, Lisa Sai, please come to the front. It's okay. We're just going to believe that we are partaking in the toast. And yeah, are we ready, team? I'm just asking, yeah, let's assist each other. Yes, we have got limited glasses, but we're going to believe with you. We are going to toast for 3 things, CEO, if I may. Some people can come, and Tatabudib, who will sing for me at the workshop. Please partake. We're just going to toast for 3 dynamic elements. We're going to take 3 sips, right? When we are ready, please alert me. Dynamic elements that we are going to sip for. I'm going to believe with you that we are toasting. I see the CEO from Dimasa is assisting. Thank you so much. Thank you. Assisting there. Do we have some liquids in the glass? Do we have some liquids in the glass? But I must put a disclaimer, Gary. I've made sure because the CEO was not going to be very polite with me. These are non-alcohol. I must say that up front. Are we fine? Are we ready for our first sip? Yeah, to come and partake, please. CGSO milestone. 10 years of ensuring we are relevant. Mr. Dadla. Our first sip, are we ready? I'm just going to extract 3 dynamic elements from the vision statement of CGSO. I keep on being tempted to say hallelujah, but it's okay. It's okay. Are we ready? Okay. We may lift up our glasses. The first sip goes to the speediest dispute resolution body. First sip, cheers. Cheers to that. We are believing with you. We are believing with you. We took our first sip. The second one, fairest. We are taking a sip to the fairest dispute resolution body. Cheers to CGSO. Now we're going to gulp. Then please pay attention as we're going to gulp to this one. We are gulping for the dispute resolution body, which is compliant and ensuring relevance continuously. Let's take a sip, and it's a gulp this time. Thank you. Cheers to CGSO. Cheers to CGSO. Thank you so much. Thank you. And to all of us, we're going to have our toast in the restaurant. We mustn't worry. Lunch is waiting for us. I think the CGSO staff will assist us and direct us where we are going to have lunch. Once again, thank you so much. And we really appreciate you for making time. Thank you.
Please, just a reminder, there are media interviews that should be happening here. Please do not leave before you have conducted your interview. Make sure